Right, on to box 3 of the case. So, as this is being recorded for the future, why don't we make some guesses, right, as to what's going to unfold in the case of the new bright light set. Now, I think important point to touch on, right, is we are getting the Professor 4 Blitz decks, however you want to refer to them, September 8th, right, and then Metrics or Bright Lights comes out in a month later, right, at the end of September, start of October. So, in that regard, right, what do we know about the Professor decks? Well, for starters, we know the Professor deck is an Evo mech deck, right, and the Evo mech suits or mech equipment, however you want to refer to it, is what was revealed with the Bright Lights announcement, and is obviously going to be a core element. The Nikola Tesla, right, Nikola Tesla card or hero makes full use of these style of cards, similar to what we see the Professor. So either to start off, right, because we have 3 of the 4 decks revealed to us, right? We have Professor, we have Melody the Bard, and we have Reverent the Guardian, right? So that leaves 1 hero slot. So to me, that hero slot is either going to be the Nikola Tesla hero, right? So in that regard, would they do another block of Blitz decks along with the release of Bright Lights, right? If they're releasing these Blitz decks a month prior. I don't think so, right? So either that 4th slot is going to be the new Nikola Tesla, or it's just going to be a Dash, right? Or Data Doll maybe, right? One other mechanologist, and with the Professor being the substitute for the Nikola Tesla hero, right? Making use of those Evo mech cards, the mech suit cards, and essentially playing similar, hopefully not identically, right? Not just being a revised art version, right, of the new hero, but some sort of alternative as just a young variant. The other thing, right, the artwork shown with the Professor's decks. That could be within Bright Lights, right, within the city. Curious to me though, the art is sort of a bit older, right? Yes, you have people in goggles. Yes, you have the electronic blimp above, but the city in the windows, right, that's been sketched and drawn, doesn't look like modern day Bright Lights from the artwork we've seen currently. It looks a little bit older than that. So that's also another interesting thing to consider, right? Is it his heyday, and then by the time we get Bright Lights, that's now equivalent to the old variants of the Professor. But altogether, I would assume it is still set in metrics. So yeah, so it'll be interesting to see in that regard what we get in terms of that 4th deck. Then you also have the extra 100 cards, right? So 100 cards across these 4 Blitz decks are new. So in that regard, it sort of makes metrics, you know, a 350 card set, if that, right? Because again, I'm gonna, for all intents and purposes, given their release date, given their themes, again, the Professor being heavy into the mech side of things, that they are going to overlap. First cold foil, we get a Frontline Legs. Hoping for something a little bit different in terms of the rare. Yet to see anything other. Well, actually, we got the Rug Roller in the other pack. I've gotten a lot of the Irises of Reality in terms of the wrestler. Have not seen a Decimator Great Axe at all in terms of cold foil. So I would like to see that. But yeah, in terms of speculating of those 100 cards, how many are going to relate to mech, for instance? If, you know, we're getting a set devoted to mech, because that'd be kind of weird to me, right? If you split it evenly, right? So there's 25 new cards per deck. There's 25 Bard cards, which Bard needs the greatest amount of support, and then 25 mech, 25 Guardian cards. And then we get another 250 card set that is again going to have to be heavily mech themed so that the crack shuffle play mechanic can actually function. Second legendary of the box. Awesome. And we also get a Herald in it. Iron Song Venus versus. I always want to say Venus. And then a Herald of Rebirth. Sort of messed up where everything's going. It's fine. Stick them there. The Herald can go with the Majestics and Cold Foil Legendary. So altogether, I mean, this case has been a good case. Definitely my best case by far, considering the fact that we've got, what, an extended art, an angel, 2 legendaries, and, well, we're 3 for 3 for cold foils. So, box aside, right, going back and forth, what do you think, right, about how much these Blitz decks are going to tie into the set? Because, I mean, what better set to tie them together, right? Again, with the Professor's huge love of Mechanologist and mech cards, right? To use this as the gateway introductory product for the bright light set. Now, in terms of the bright light set, right, from my thoughts and discussions with people, I would like to see the lore cards be just that, lore cards. Have no play relevance whatsoever, just be nice artistic pieces for you to find and collect, right? Just as a sort of nice little art piece, right? They don't have to have any play. Again, I don't understand why they'd separate it in terms of play from the tournament cards, right? When we get the 3 little section ideas for the expansion slot. So I do think that the lore section, right, the first dot point for the expansion slot will be just lore style cards that don't have any play relevance, and I'm completely fine with that, right? To make sure they're done nicely. I mean, maybe give them the Cold Foil or Marvel treatment and make them nice show pieces to actually have some pride of ownership, right? And then for the actual play slot, right? Definitely going to be whatever hero is bottom of the barrel. We'll see some cards of interest pop up for them, right? And that's fine. Again, it's kind of odd to have tournament cards, right? So cards intended for high meta play to be, you know, a pull rate of 1 in 15, if that, right? Again, you have to cycle through all these cards to find the one you want. So it is kind of weird to me that, you know, those are the rate. I mean, we could get whammied, right? It could be the 1 in 15 that is announced is the average across 3. So the actual tournament cards are more prevalent, then the reprints are less prevalent, and the lore cards are like the middle ground. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's very transparent. I think it's 1 in 15 per packs to find one of these 3 cards. And at that point, how many lore cards, not lore cards, how many tournament style cards, the tournament relevant cards, can you get away with before, you know, they are just exuberantly priced, right? They become worse than legendaries to cycle through to find them and to get your 3 copies, right? It's another Command and Conquer, Line Strike, all over it, right? So again, that's the one portion of the slot I'm worried about. As for the reprints, right, I'm going to go all in, hopefully, by the time this comes out, right, they've announced it, we get alternative art reprints, right? We leave the white border, we leave the cheap, accessible version to the history pack, and we get some nice pieces of artwork. They don't have to be foil, they don't have to be cold foil, they don't have to be extend art, they don't have to be marvels, just alternative artworks for these equipment. So the spring tunic, again, I want to see a mech themed spring tunic, right? It's been tinkered with, it's had a bunch of different parts replaced, still looks like a spring tunic overall, but it does have those elements that reflect the set that you're finding it in. I think that, to me, that would be the greatest thing they could do with that expansion slot. Again, have them slot in beneath the cold foil, beneath the rainbow foil, but still be somewhat of a chase. Right, 1 in 15, they're more common. Is it, again, until we know the pool size, right, it's hard to say how good 1 in 15 is. Again, you have to compete with all 3 slots, and then you have to compete with however many cards in the card pool to actually find the one you want. Right, if the card pool is extensive, right, if it's like 20 cards, to cycle through all 20 cards to find the ones like you actually want, again, the ones that are tournament relevant or the reprints that you want, is going to be somewhat difficult. So until we get more information on that, I can't say anything. But yeah, war cards, no play relevance whatsoever. Tournament cards, obviously high play value, and then reprints as alternative art. Right, alternative art, just stock standard, normal versions of cards, but alternative art. That's my 3 guesses for the slot. And then as for the actual set, I do think it will just be completely Mechanologist, right? Again, Mechanologist X cards, sure, right? You can have Reiner with like a Power Gauntlet or something for a heavy hit as just stylized, right? But overall, heavy mech themes, every card having either the Mechanologist tag or, again, being generic. I don't expect to see a bunch of generics. Maybe another cohort of items like Everfest, right? Items that everyone can use, you know, to boost, to upgrade, to do whatever. But altogether, I would expect a set of 250 cards, right, to be heavily themed just around Mechanologist. So again, the crack shuffle play mechanic can actually function, right? You can't have dead cards in that style. The new is 30 to 40 cards, right? So if you open 3 packs, right, 16 cards each, 2 are tokens, it's fine. But that's what? 14 cards plus the equipment. So 13 cards per pack over 3 is only 33. a leeway of 3 cards to meet that new middle. Doesn't work. Doesn't work unless all the cards are, again, either generic or Mechnologist. Last pack. Nothing good. Never anything good in last pack. Still, overall, good box. Yeah, I mean, they'll probably do it for the speculations. Let me know what you have. Well, you know, if they've already been revealed by the time this comes out. Hopefully I'm somewhat on the money. Right, what did we end up with? Legendary. Another Iron Song versus. Frontline legs. Take it or leave it. We got 2 Heralds again. Yeah, two. Herald of Rebirth and the War Tune Herald. Then we got our Figments of Erudition. Also, I don't mind the new Soraya artwork either. I don't know. Which one looks better? Actually, no. I just realized her wings are like mech, aren't they? It's kind of weird. I think in that regard, now that I've noticed her wings, right? I was just thinking as background, but her wings being robotic in a sense. I like the other Soraya, Dynasty Soraya. Starstruck, Banet of Courage, Requiem of the Damned, a Foil Sensor, Expendable Limbs, and a Bequest of the Vast Beyond. Now, a Sensor. When this hits a hero name card, they can't play that the name card until the end of their next turn. Name a card. This could have use, right? Disrupting the new Mechnologist effect if you're trying to upgrade your equipment a certain way. I don't know. Have to see how many turns it takes to sort of build up X equipment as the new Mechnologist. Oh yeah, last little guess, right? So we know we get Dash, we know we get Teklo. Sorry, not Teklo, Niklo. I'm gonna make that so many times because again, I want to say Nikola Tesla, or I just want to say Tesla. But yeah, is it Teklo? No, Teklo. Anyway, name aside, we know we get those 2 heroes. No, I could just call him Benedict Cumberbatch. I still think he looks a lot like Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah. Data Doll is the speculation. In all honesty, I wouldn't be amiss if they chuck the Professor into it, right? And then we end up with, you know, the Professor and a Dash deck. I think Professor and Dash is a bit better in his 4 deck block, and then Melody and Reverent, just because, again, his little blurb is playing around the Evo equipment, which is the new Niklo cards, big gimmick. So unless they're just, again, restyle as art of one another, I would like to see him play a big role in the set. Because again, I don't have an issue with, you know, putting, you know, big community players into the game. I think that's a wonderful thing to show off and to do, and to, you know, show your support and appreciation, and then just also reflect that Legendary Studios isn't this big company that's out of reach. I know a lot of people will find it jarring, but that's just my personal opinion. Anyway, hope you enjoyed nonetheless. 1 box to go. I mean, I think this case has already done it. I think this case is above, right? Between the 2 legendaries and the Angel, as well as the extended art. I think we're doing pretty good. It's good, right? My best case by far, and it's the last one to end off my opening. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.